Welcome to the RDG kitchen. Today I got something very special for you. As a kid, one of my favorite things, actually growing up, a favorite thing, even as an adult, a favorite thing, even a favorite thing today, and that favorite thing is donuts. I just adore donuts. At RDG we started this Sunday tradition of donuts, and I'm going to make one of my favorite ones today. It's an old-timey donut, kind of a beignet, a cream puff dough that when you fry it puffs up very, very light. And it's simple to make, but very, very tasty. And it starts off with milk and butter that you put, we're going to boil these together. Milk and then butter. It can be firm butter or soft butter. You put those two things together, and then I'm going to bring them to a boil on the stove. So I make this with whole milk and unsalted butter, two just really fine, simple ingredients. I like copper pans or pans that have copper's a great conductor of heat, even conductor of heat. It made a nice thick bottom to the pan so the heat is very even. In this case, you shouldn't have too much trouble because all we're trying to do is get the milk to boil and not boil over, which is why you got to keep an eye on that. I'm fascinated by stirring, and I like to sort of keep an eye. I feel like I'm adding a little something to it when I stir it. Something goes down my arm, down the spoon, and into it. Almost ready. You'll see it'll just start to come, and the butter actually, as it melts, sort of starts to distribute inside the milk. Here it starts to go. The boiling comes in from the edges, and now it's going to really go. Full boil, ready to go. So now with the milk still super hot right off the stove, we're going to add all at once the flour and the salt, sugar and the salt, and then into that hot you stir it very, very quickly, and because the milk is hot, that flour is going to just thicken up. Just in a second it absorbs and starts to thicken that milk, and you think, how can something that looks so thick make such a light pastry? This is all-purpose flour, granulated sugar, and a little salt. So you kind of get it right when it looks like it's fully blended. We're going to add eggs to this, and we're going to beat that raw egg into that warm dough. It's going to fill into the dough, and when we go to fry it, it'll balloon up into this beautiful, beautiful pastry. So one by one, you add the eggs, and you kind of beat them into the dough. Now you can do this by hand like this. It's particularly good when you have someone young in the household, and they'll help you do it. Or you can do it in an electric mixer with the paddle. So one by one, we're going to keep adding these eggs. And the eggs slowly cool the dough down as well as they get bound into it. So instead of using like yeast or baking powder or baking soda, the egg is what's going to be the leavener, and also it's going to enrich the dough. And you see all along the dough's taking on a little more yellow color from the egg yolks. And at the same time, it's starting to look smoother and smoother. And here goes the last egg. We even make a little nest for it there in the center. And we'll beat it in. I always like to say that making beignets is good exercise. So now you can just see how it's becoming a very, very lovely dough. A far cry from where it was before. Now it's shiny and really beautiful. And then the last thing we're going to do is add just a touch of vanilla. We'll beat that in just to finish it off. And there we are, the dough's ready to go. See, look how beautiful it is now. Just a silky pastry dough. I'm just going to take little scoops of dough and drop them, tap them into the fryer. So then as soon as they hit the oil, they'll sink, but as they start to inflate, they poof up and get larger, and they'll continue to get larger. And as they go along frying, you turn them over as they're golden brown. We fry them just so they really come up high, and they'll almost start to crack at a certain point. These look pretty light. But see how high up they're sitting out of the oil, because the more they poof up, the more the egg goes, the more they balloon up. They look very, very pretty and very, very light, like pillows. So if you want to see if they're done, you could, cut one in half, and they should be very, very poofy in the center, almost like a custard on the inside. Very, see all the air holes? Very, very light. It's like a little crisp donut with the egg custard on the inside. Okay, so now that they're fried, the last step is very simple. When they're still nice and warm, we'll put them in a bowl. You could sprinkle powdered sugar on them, but I'm always fascinated by putting the powdered sugar on and kind of toss them in a bowl so they get evenly coated. The dough itself is not very sweet, so when you put the sugar on the outside, it'll nicely absorb it. That beautiful kind of look. And then we'll just transfer them to a little platter. They're still very warm from the fryer. Very lovely. So I hope you'll come by to RDG and join our Sunday tradition of donuts. They're quite lovely, and they are so good. I tell you what, in the month of July, come by and say you saw this video, and the donuts are complimentary on me. That's how good they are. Hope to see you on Sundays.